Hello! It's been a while. I apologize. Mercury's been retrograde, and that's actually the focus for today's video. Um, with Mercury retrograde in Cancer, with the Sun now in Cancer, we just passed the summer solstice. There's a lot of stuff here. As always, there's really beautiful benefits, good things, blessings to talk about, and as always, there's also challenges to keep in mind. Some things that we need to work on. So let's focus on. We'll kind of do both. Um, there's a big focus on the past during this time, like with every Mercury retrograde, but especially since Mercury's retrograde in Cancer, we have the Sun in Cancer. It's a time of meeting up with old friends that we haven't seen in a while, and funnily enough, just this last weekend, I saw one of my best friends from childhood, one of my oldest friends who I hadn't seen in the last 2 years. That was really lovely, and that's really the name of this time in general, is seeing family and friends, old loved ones, and sometimes people that we don't want to see. But you know, as always, we always have control over these things. Maybe not always, but we largely can guide this stuff. So it's really important, as with every Mercury retrograde, to think about these things. Okay, let's make sure we're not reaching out to people from our past unless it's truly of good intention. We're not desperate for attention or trying to relive something that's done and gone and over with. That's always good to keep in mind, especially with this Cancer energy, because this Cancer energy can be very nostalgic. And then we see the person, it's like, oh, right, there's all this shit that I forgot about, or I just wasn't keeping in mind. And so, you know, that not always. And again, with this weekend, that's not at all what happened with me. So that's just good to keep in mind with every Mercury retrograde, is to keep this stuff in perspective. And sometimes things really are just done with. And, you know, not just having to do with people. This is really good to keep in mind as per ourselves, too, our subconscious, our memories, our past. And to be mindful of behaviors that we just need to let go of, stuff that's childish, stuff that we need to, you know, Cancer energy has a lot to do with childhood. And so I think this time is a really wonderful time to reflect on the past, but again, to not get nostalgic, and also to let the past be, and to not be reliving cycles in the present that really have to do with our past. So this is a great time to let go of any habits, any thought processes, any behaviors that are unhealthy, that aren't helping us to grow, that aren't allowing us to make the future that we need to make, that we want to make. So that's really good to keep in mind as well. Now, as per the grand scheme of things, as per 2020, Jupiter has been in Capricorn for all of 2020. It'll be in Cap for basically all of 2020 until December 17th or 18th or something of this year, and then it'll go into Aquarius. Saturn is retrograding back into Cap July 1st or 2nd, something like that. And so during this Cancer season, we have Sun and Mercury opposite Jupiter and opposite Saturn, especially about 2 or 3 weeks from now. And a big focus for 2020 in general is cleaning up. We're seeing that on the macrocosmic level of, okay, we need to learn how to be less racist. We need to be able to communicate more. We need to be able to take care of each other and be more internationally connected. You know, all these things that are happening because of the COVID and the protests and whatnot. And that's happening on a macrocosmic level. And on a microcosmic level, for each one of us as individuals, the focus is, okay, I mean, sure, these things, of course, apply as well. But in so many ways, the focus is, okay, what can I build to help me to move forward, in particular professionally, as per my character, as per my integrity as an individual? How can I make myself a more effective member, more positive member of society? And it's really beautiful because there's so many rewards for that. I mean, that's important to do just for the sake of society and for the sake of ourselves as individuals, to be at our best and to be contributing our maximum contribution to society. But there's so much gain for that too, whether it's status, fame, fortune, to whatever degree. And I think that this next month, especially about 2 to 3 weeks from now, that's a big focus, is let's get serious. Even where we are right now, let's get serious, let's get driven. Cancer is a cardinal energy, just like Aries, just like Libra, just like Capricorn. It begins a season. And so in the northern hemisphere, it begins summer. And in the southern hemisphere, it begins winter. And especially with Mercury being there as well, even though it's retrograde, that Mercury retrograde is still helping us to move forward because it's in Cancer. So even though a lot of it is, okay, the sun in Cancer, we're all feeling it. How do I move forward? What are my goals? And again, it's opposite this Jupiter. So especially, what are my goals? I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get at it. You know, I've recently, I drew up a workout plan. You know, it's funny. It actually reminds me. I have a great friend of mine who is a sun in Cancer, Mercury Cancer, and as he always says, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And I think that's really a key thing for this month. Either you'll get really dark, and we're dealing with a spectrum. It's not like it's one or the other, but the spectrum to avoid is getting depressed, getting apathetic, feeling like, oh, I'm not where I want to be in life, oh, the past, just getting caught up in the emotions, not doing anything positive and productive, and wondering why we still feel how we felt before in a stagnated position. If we, again, that's one spectrum, might be a little bit, you know, or wherever. But then the other spectrum is, okay, cool. How do I move forward? What is my plan? What am I gonna do? Not just how do I feel, but what am I gonna do? And of course, that interacts with how we feel. If we do good things, then we'll feel better. And also letting feelings guide us too, guide what we do and guide our plans. So this is a great time to get in tune with ourselves, our innermost emotions, to make peace with the past, and to figure out what the path is in the present to make the future that we need and that we want. So make plans, and know that even if this next month we're able to make so much progress, again, sometimes it can feel like we're moving backwards or it's not quite moving as fast. That's okay. It doesn't matter how it's perceived. All of that matters is what we're doing, and as long as we're moving forward and being mindful of how to move forward in the best way possible, that's all that matters. And actually, there is the potential to be able to move very quickly because Mars is going to go into Aries. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head, but we're looking at probably within the next week of the making of this video on the 24th. So that's really exciting. I'm guessing maybe the 29th or something like that. But whatever it is, we'll cover it in future videos. And this energy is a huge burst forward of being able to make progress. But it can also be, again, we have a really beautiful opportunity with this next lunar cycle, with this next month, where if we have goals, if we're not letting emotions or the past or anything like that drag us down, then we're going to be able to shoot forward and make incredible progress. If we don't have goals, if we don't plan, then we can just find ourselves with a lot of tension and not releasing it in any kind of productive way. It's okay to have tension. Tension can actually be really beneficial, but we need to be working with it. We need to be doing something with it. Again, a key word here is do. So it's great to pay attention to how we feel, but let's also pay attention to what we're doing and how those things correspond. Peace, infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste.